Imagine this. One man hypnotizes an entire nation with the promise of boundless wealth from a single idea. People sell their homes, farms, and savings to chase the dream of unlimited gold. In the streets of Paris, cries echo, "I'm entrusting my life to you. John Law, make me rich." The city goes mad. Overnight, millionaires emerge. Tents are pitched to buy shares. Crowds trample each other. But then, everything collapses in an instant. Fortunes evaporate. Riots erupt like all financial bubbles, and an empire trembles. This isn't a Hollywood movie. It's history's greatest financial mania, the Mississippi Bubble. 1720 was a pivotal year for France, filled with both hope and disaster. This story reveals how greed, speculation, and financial genius combined to push a nation to the brink of the abyss. The rise and fall of John Law, a Scottish adventurer, still reminds us of every financial bubble, from Wall Street to today's crypto markets. Let's dive into this epic tale together and see why we still need to learn from it. In the early 18th century, France was struggling with massive debts from endless wars and lavish court life. King Louis XIV legacy was a complete ruin. The tax system was unfair. Nobles and the church were exempt, while nearly the entire burden fell on the common people, who were exhausted. Economic stagnation was felt everywhere. Trade had ground to a halt, and money circulation was limited. Right in the midst of this chaos emerged John Law, a Scottish adventurer, mathematician, and gambler. Law was a revolutionary in financial theory. He believed money shouldn't be limited to precious metals like gold and silver. A trust-based paper money system could revitalize the economy and spark growth. This idea was radical at the time, as people equated money with tangible, shiny metals. Law's vision planted the seeds of modern central banking, but its implementation would later turn into a complete catastrophe. So, who was this John Law? Born in 1671 in Edinburgh, Scotland, he was described as tall, handsome, and arrogant, a colorful personality. He had a great weakness for women and gambling, which made his life full of adventures. He was even convicted in England for killing a man in a duel and had to flee the country. This adventurous spirit led him to travel across Europe, developing his financial theories along the way. He finally settled in France in 1715. There, after King Louis XIV's death, he met the Duke of Orleans, who became regent. The Duke ruled until young Louis XV came of age and grew close to Law, believing his financial ideas could solve France's fiscal crisis. In his book Money and Trade Considered, Law argued that a country's wealth should be measured not just by gold reserves, but by the amount of money in circulation. His theory aimed to stimulate economic growth by increasing the money supply, but he failed to foresee that excess would awaken the monster of inflation. In 1716, Law founded France's first private bank, initially called Banque Générale and later Banque Royale. As soon as it was established, he began printing paper money to put his theory into practice, laying the foundation for a new economic order. Paper notes were marketed with promises of convertibility to gold and silver, gaining acceptance. People started using this new money for trade. The economy revived and trade volume increased. A year later, in 1717, with royal support, Law founded the Mississippi Company, originally Company d'Occident, later Company d'Indes. The company promised gold and silver mines, rich farmlands, and trade opportunities in France's Louisiana colony, much of today's USA. Massive advertising campaign promoted it. Brochures showed maps with rivers full of gold. Rumors spread like wildfire that it was paradise. Europeans quickly fell for this new world dream. People sold homes and farms to buy shares. Demand exploded, and share prices skyrocketed. Law's system was running smoothly. Everything seemed perfect. To support share values, Law printed more paper money. By 1720, shares had risen from 500 livres to 10,000 livres, an approximate 1,900% increase. Paris's Rue Quincampoix became an arena of madness. People trampled each other to buy shares, pitched tents, and stood guard at night. Some became wealthy overnight. The word millionaire was born in this era. The speculation wave engulfed all society. Merchants, nobles, even servants queued endlessly. But like every financial bubble, this one was a castle of sand. Its foundation was weak. Louisiana wasn't the promised paradise. Swamps, mosquitoes, harsh living conditions. Gold mines? Mere fantasies on maps. The company's wealth was based on exaggerated rumors. The economic impacts kick in here, making the story even more tragic. Law's system rapidly increased the money supply. Printing banknotes doubled the money in circulation in France. This stimulated trade short-term, but led to hyperinflation. Prices soared, especially for food. Bread and meat rose 30 to 50%. When people realized their paper money was losing value, panic set in. In January 1720, some investors sold shares to demand gold, triggering a bank run. Banque Royale's reserves depleted rapidly. Law belatedly tried measures, restricting gold payments, making banknotes mandatory tender. But this eroded trust further. Trust is the cornerstone of any financial system. Share prices crashed, banknotes fell to half their nominal value. The result? Economic catastrophe. Trade halted, unemployment exploded, many families went bankrupt. France plunged into deep depression. The monetary system collapsed, and trust in paper money vanished for years. The waves of this economic collapse weren't limited to France. It taught lessons across Europe on debt management and monetary policy. France's national debt ballooned further. The government promised to redeem shares at original value, leading to more borrowing. One positive from law: simplifying taxes, partially successful reforms. But the crisis reduced tax collection efficiency. Socially, the middle class and poor suffered most. As always, the rich protected their gold, while ordinary people dreaming of wealth lost everything. This inequality fueled anger against the monarchy. Experts say the Mississippi bubble sowed seeds for the 1789 French Revolution. The fiscal crisis destroyed government credibility and heightened social unrest. King Louis XVI's calling of the assembly stemmed from these depleted resources. A famous story from Paris's financial disaster: Jean-Baptiste, an ambitious merchant and typical middle-class figure, heard of the Mississippi opportunity and invested everything, even borrowing, to buy shares. At first, he profited. Shares rose. He dreamed of luxury. But rumors spread. The company's real assets were questioned. As prices fell, Jean-Baptiste waited, hoping for recovery. Sadly, the bank seized his wealth. It evaporated. He and thousands like him took to the streets. Riots broke out, violence ensued. Law became enemies' target. His French adventure lasted only 5 years, leaving a debt-ridden, exhausted people. He fled in December 1720. A new adventure began for Law, but he couldn't settle anywhere. His bad reputation followed. His final stop was Venice, where he lived in poverty and died in 1729. So what does this teach us? The Mississippi bubble is a classic example of greed and blind speculation. Similar bubbles repeated through history. England South Sea bubble, 1929, Wall Street crash, 2000 dot-com bubble, even 2008 mortgage crisis. Today's crypto bubble shows similar dynamics: rapid rises, exaggerated promises, sudden crashes. Economists admire Law's ideas. Paper money and central banking are standard today. But the lesson is clear: unregulated financial innovations bring disaster. France reverted to the gold standard post-crisis, but rebuilding trust took years. Ultimately, the Mississippi bubble wasn't just a financial scandal. It was a turning point that altered a nation's economic, social, and political fate. Today, recalling this story during financial crises is invaluable. Dreams are beautiful, but reality can be harsh. Do you think a similar bubble could form in today's economy? Let's discuss in the comments. History repeats itself. We must learn lessons. You'll find many more financial stories like this on my channel. Subscribe. Let's unearth financial tales from history's dusty shelves together. See you in the next video. Goodbye.